Hi everyone, I am really excited today to show you that I have received these lovely 2 boxes of pencils from a lovely lady called Dion. I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. And these are the last 2 boxes that I was hoping for. They were on my wish list to make up my full set of Black Widows, so I am immensely excited and grateful. Thank you so much. And we're going to look at both sets. We'll look at them separately. I've got a book here, so I'm going to test them out and have a play. But before I do, I'm just going to say I have got a swatch chart for all the Black Widows, which I wasn't able to swatch myself because I didn't have them. Spread across a couple of pages, and I put them in an order that I thought made sense from the pencil names, having not seen them. I'm going to rejig it, put them in the right order, put it into one page, so we've got, and swatch it myself, so we've got that. And I'm also going to do one in colour order, so I'm going to mix all the sets together. Some of you are recoiling in horror. And put them in colour order, because I like to work like that. I like to, you know, if I want a yellow, I don't want to look through my Monarch, my dragon, my spider, my blah, and find the right yellow. It's nice to have them in order, so I'm going to do that as well. And eventually I'm going to plan to have a pencil case and put them in colour order rather than set order, but that's in the future when I get round to buying one, if I can, blah blah. Anyway, we're going to test them out. I'm going to start with the Monarch. It's a slightly bigger set. Well, which I can show you the boxes first. You can see both tins are a little bit different, which I find quite interesting, but they're different size. We've got a different amount of pencils in each, and there's the back, so we've got a bit of information. Now there's a Facebook page on the back and an email address, and I gather that you can get replacement open stock pencils from that address. I haven't had to do that yet, but I gather you can. And the lid comes off. Now under here, both of these were sealed in polythene bags, which I've removed because I was nosy and I wanted to have a look inside. And this bottom half is always shrink wrapped, and you have to sort of peel that off, which I've done already. So they're nicely protected when you receive them. This one has 2 in, so you pull out the tray. It's a little bit awkward, to be honest. I'm sure I'll get the hang of it eventually. We'll pull that one out. I'm just going to place it on the lid, and we can see what we've got. So this is the Monarch set. It's a slightly larger set. The pencils are all cramped together. In the other sets, they have a bit of a gap between each one. It doesn't bother me at all. There is a bit of a smell. Always notice this with Black Widow. There's a bit of a smell if you're a bit sensitive to chemically types. I think it's the paint on the pencils. Then leave them open in a room overnight. Not your bedroom, obviously, a different room, or somewhere airy, and I'm sure it will go. So here they are. I've got this little book. It's just a mandalas book, and I'm going to see, my next mandala's got lots of little bits in. So my plan is to test them out in the little section. So I'm just going to put one on top of the other, pop this by the side, and try them out. The light is, I'm going to put my lamp on. No, what I'm going to do, whoop, that that wasn't really a success. I was going to put that on there so you could see it better. Let's turn it upside down. That's a much better idea. There we go. We can come in as close as we can and have a look. Now talk you through the pencils slightly before we start. So we'll just take the first one. So they're black. Black Widow's pencils have black wood, all of them are the same, and they have this dipped end with the colour on. Now the earlier editions didn't have this dipped end, they were completely black, so you could only tell from the end what colour it was, and I think they adapted and changed that, so that's good. Now these Monarch ones have got an orange band around them. They say Monarch, you've got the name Fawn, and you've got the number. Now the name is quite, sorry, tip it so you can see, the name is halfway down, so as soon as you sharpen to there you've lost it, and then there's the number. So that for me is a little bit of a disadvantage. I'd rather have had it really low down here so that you don't sharpen it off, but that's just my little bugbear. Let's try out the Fawn. Let's try it out in this section here. So this is quite a nice beige colour. It's very rare to have a beige pencil, to be honest. I know there's one in Prismacolors, but there's not one in Polychromos. So that's a rather nice colour to start with. It's really hard for you to see. What I'm going to do is take the pencils out of shot because you don't actually need to keep seeing them, and come in much closer, and the light will change because of the white book being fully in shot, and you'll be able to have a really good look at the colours. Now obviously it's not the same on a screen as it is in real, but it'll just give you a better idea. So this one's called Cream. I'm sort of expecting it to be really pale. I'm going to use quite a small box for it. It looks slightly peachy to me, a bit like maybe a magnolia, but maybe that's just me, I don't know. Now I love the names of all of these pencils. This one's called Milk. They have fabulous names. So this is a really pale cream. So this is what I would call cream, or even ivory maybe. And here we have a peach. Yeah, the names can be fabulous. You know, we have like Pig's Ear, Delicious Pink, we have Toxic Green, Fang Green, you know, all this sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these are all called. This one's called Aztec Gold. That's not very funny. It's disappointing. No, it's, look at that beautiful colour though. That is lovely. It's almost a beautiful bright yellow with just a little tiny bit of orange in there. It looks more orangey in my screen, but of course screens don't always tell a good story. Now I'm just blocking them in. I would never normally colour a mandala like this. I would normally colour it symmetrically. So this is going to challenge me as I go through. I'm trying not to look. This is going to worry me. So there is a sort of mango colour. Love mango. This one's called Ice Cream. Ah, good name. It's slightly pinky, peachy maybe. Which is nice. Some of the colours I find are really similar in Black Widows. Like there's a lot of dark reds which to me look very similar. But we'll see what happens with these. This one's called Light Pink. But as I say, I'm going to put together a swatch chart. See, these might be quite similar to the skin tone sets because there's a lot of sort of pale pinkish colours in that. But I'm going to, yeah, have a go at getting them all in colour order. It's going to be tricky. It won't keep me quiet this weekend, that's for sure. But what I'm hoping is that by the time the video is available to you, because I'm recording a sort of week in advance at the minute. That's an interesting colour. Should have the swatch charts ready. This is called Bliss. I will advertise them as soon as I've got them ready. Advertise them. I sound like some big corporate company. I'll promote them on my social media channels, so you can get hold of them as soon as I've got them ready. But I will put the links in this video too. I will sort of update what I've got on my Ko-fi. This is Fudge. Do like a bit of fudge. It's not this colour though. Fudge is usually brown, like the colour of toffee. There we go. Some people I know, hot pink, really dislike these sorts of names because they don't tell you what the colour looks like. And I can understand that, because if you pick up a phthalo green, let's say, you know that it's going to be a sort of bluey greeny colour. Although they won't be identical between sets, you've got an idea. Here is Candy. But with a name like Candy, that could be any colour at all, you know? I mean, what is that? A light orangey peach? You know. So, and this one is called Passion. I would expect that to be red, but look, it's green. So, yeah, I can understand. That's like a neon green. Why that could be irritating. This is cool green, but I just find the names so original and interesting, you know, and you just have to get to know them, I guess. So this is apple. So I would expect the apple to be like the apple green in the Prismacolors. And it is quite similar, to be honest. Might be a little bit darker, but similar-ish. Now we've got iceberg. Now is this a blue iceberg or is this an iceberg lettuce? Looks quite bluey to me. Iceberg lettuce isn't blue. Don't really eat a lot of blue food. Peppermint. Nice. Right, green slime. This one's quite bluey as well. See, already I'm like, I wouldn't have them in this order. Washed green. I drive my husband balmy. I'm like, right, I've got to change the order of this pencils. He was like, what are you doing? He's like, why aren't you taking a photo of them and keeping them in the right order all the time? The manufacturer's order. And I'm like, because I don't like it. Poison. I'm going to put that here. He's like, but you can't change the order. Yes, I can. Maybe I'm just rebellious. Very naughty. But I'm not keen on keeping the order the same just because that's how they had it. Sometimes I even wonder, this is called antler, whether it's a bit random. You know, who chooses the order? You know, are they put in order? Are they always in the same order in each tin? Some tins, admittedly, have the colours printed or listed on them and they're in that order in the tin. So then presumably everybody gets the same. But I don't reckon that always happens. Particularly with the more budget ranges. This is green tea. Now, Black Widows is considered to be more of a budget range, although I wouldn't say it's not like really cheap. There are much cheaper pencils, but the fact that they're available open stock, meaning you can replace individual pencils, is something that you can't do with most budget range pencils, so that is a fabulous thing. That's a gorgeous colour, by the way. But also, this is called light bronze. They are I think they are good pencils compared to a lot of budget pencils for a variety of reasons. I realise that not everyone's going to like them. They sharpen to a nice fine point, which I like in a pencil. That's the whole of the first tray done. Sorry, we're going to move to the bottom tray and to the emerald. So the fact that you can get them open stock is a huge thing and doesn't happen with many budget pencils. They sharpen to a nice point. They don't break that easily. This is sapphire. I have had a set where they broke a bit, and I have had the odd pencil that's broken quite a lot. That isn't unusual for sets of pencils, to be honest. This is leaf green. I even had a polychromos pencil once that just kept breaking. It can happen. See, this looks more like an olivey green. Should be in the olive greens. And the set that I had that quite a few broke in, this is Sky, had some broken ones when it arrived, and I think it must have been damaged in the post. And I think it was sent from America, not from the UK, so which would have made a difference. This is Cat's Eye. So all of those factors could have made a difference. I would have, had I bought them myself, I would have probably gone back to the manufacturer and said, you know, this isn't good, this is denim, which I have done with some pencils before, but because it was a gift, I couldn't do that. So anyway, they're quite soft. They're not scratchy in any way. This is Ocean. Some people, they're certainly harder than Prismacolors or things like that, but they're smooth and they blend nicely. We're not blending them at the minute, we're just you know, popping them down. This is Blue Daisy. I can't say what the range of colours is like because obviously I've only just opened this set and I haven't opened the other one yet. But what I've got so far, I feel there aren't too many gaps apart from more pastel-y tones. This is Opal, and we're getting more pastel-y ones in this particular set. So I think this was sort of filling some of the gaps, as it were, with the, you know, where people have maybe said, you know, we want some more pastel colours, that sort of thing. There are quite a lot of pinks in other sets though, but maybe, and the peaches and peachy colours, but this is called Grey Slate. I don't know if it's going to be purple or grey. We'll find out. Oh, it looks really, really, really similar to the Greythorn, which is in the skin tones. Maybe it's a little bit darker. I'll have to find out when I swatch them together. Now this is an interesting name. This is called Lavender, and look at the colour. Now for me there, lavender would be a very light violety colour, whereas this has got a lot more pink in it. But it's a very pretty colour. And here we have Eggplant. Where are we going? Oh, we'll do an outline here. You can see it then compared to the lavender. It's still got a fair bit of pink in this. It looks, for me that would be like the colour of a thistle, something like that. Okay, we've got some blues again now. Navy blue. Where should we go? Oh, we go down here because these are blue-ish. Nice navy. I like navy blue. Now do bear in mind when I'm colouring with these, I haven't sharpened them at all yet. Some people like to sharpen them all first. I don't. This is Blue Moon, unless they're I have received pencils that aren't sharpened at all. Prismas tend to come unsharpened. Or these are very flat on the end, if you can see. It hasn't been sharpened to a point, which is absolutely fine for what I'm colouring, but I would probably sharpen them if I was going to do Storm Blue, if I was going to do something a bit more fine. But I'm not too worried about, that's a pretty colour, I'm not too worried about keeping in the lines or making it really neat. I'm just looking at the colours. Now we have an Oyster. This is very pale, I think. Where should we go with this? Just put it behind here. It's actually not as pale as I thought. You can layer it up and darken it a little bit. Now we have Gunmetal. Now I thought Gunmetal was really dark, but it isn't as dark as I expected. Now this is quite nice because it's a cold grey. Now we've got a lot of warm greys in the other sets. Cold greys are quite lacking, dark grey, and I actually tend to use the Greythorn and the black from the skin tone set and the spider set. This one's a bit more brown because I didn't have any other sort of light grey ones that weren't brownish. This one's quite brownish too. Looks quite like the Platinum. It's probably a little bit lighter. Shadow. There's lots of greys, by the way. Now you'll find there's no black or white in this set, and that's because this is an add-on set. So the black comes in the spider set, as does the white. This is medium grey. There is also a white called Snow, in the pale skin tones and a black. I think it's, am I right in saying it's called Midnight? In the dark skin tone set. This is called Coal. Now for me coal is black, but I think this is a dark grey. It is quite dark though, look at that. You could almost use that for black. It's like a charcoal, isn't it really? Okay. Now we've got a couple left. The mahogany. There we go. And the last one, which is called Rusty. There is one called Rust in the skin tones. You also notice I didn't say the MN122, the MN standing for Monarch, because this is the Monarch set. So here's the Rusty. Oh, it looks a bit like the rattlesnake colour. How do I remember? No idea. Okay, so that is the Monarch set. Very lovely. Oh, I'm just going to put them back into the tin. And then we're going to move on to looking at the Dragon set. Now these are the most recent pencils, the Dragon set. Let's open out. I'll just show you them before we colour with them. So you can have a quick look. So these are similar. You can see they're still black, but the writing on them is sort of orangey coloured. We have a green band and we still have the colour on the end. Okay, and we've got this set, and then underneath we've got a different way of getting them out. This is the more traditional way that the other sets have, sort of pinch points there, and then we have this set underneath. And I'm intrigued that this one and this one are actually metallic paint, so I don't know if the pencils themselves are metallic or not. We shall find out when we get there. But we're going to do this top tray first, so I'll just move those aside and bring this back into shot. Now I've zoomed out a little bit, which is quite useful because we're running out of space, but I do want the white to be all in shot so that the camera light is right. There we go. So sort of working around here. So this is called Mellow Yellow. I like that. We shall go here. Well, it's quite lemony, isn't it? Right, our next colour is Serpent. Now what's interesting I noticed with the Monarch, there wasn't a colour called Monarch. In the Spider, there's a colour called Black Widow, which is the original set. That's quite an interesting orange. I don't feel like I'm close enough. I'm going to come in a little bit. There you are. And in the Cobra set, there's a pencil called Cobra, and in the Scorpion set, I don't know if this is called Gold Dust, whether there's one called Scorpion or not, I can't remember. So, there we go. Oops, Gold Dust. No. Now we have a Sandpiper. It's quite hard for me to show you these colours. It's quite, the orange on black isn't the best colour choice. I think we'll just start going around the edge. So here, next. I don't know why I picked that one. That's a weird place to start. Never mind. So this is sort of a peachy orange, I would say. Quite a strange colour with regards to trying to figure out what it's called. I mean, where it is in the sort of rainbow type thing. Our next one is called Orange Petal. Just do it next to it, we'll see how it compares. Again, quite a peachy tone. We've got a few peachy tones. These are a little bit darker than the ones we had in the other set though, which were sort of these. They're quite pale, aren't they? There we go. Now this next one is called Light Rust. We had a Rusty earlier, didn't we? That was that one. This is definitely an orange. It's rather nice, isn't it? It looks like orange glaze. And the polychromos, I would say. I suspect you're all going to want some comparison charts as well. Let me know sundown if you do. Take me a while to get all that done. I think these two sets have quite a nice range of colour. Well, the first one, the Monarch ones did, so you could use them independently of other sets. This one's called Dragon Breath. But I found like the Scorpion set, I feel like I don't really use it on its own. I can use it for a mandala like this sort of thing, but for like a general picture I feel like it's sort of missing. I think the Cobra set's got no blues in it. This is Lady Jane, an interesting name. Yeah, the Cobra set's got no blues in it, and the oh, it's a pink, and the Scorpion set, they're sort of lacking in browns. I think everything's got a lot of greens, which is always nice. Always use lots of greens. Maiden Pink. So it's always worth checking what colours the sets have got before you buy one, because it's not always easy either just to tell from the sort of Amazon listing or whatever. My pile. Sorry, I'm just going to have to fiddle around with my trays. I haven't I'm still on the first tray, but I just had to move it a bit. This is Rosie. So look at some people's reviews like mine. I've got them all somewhere. Then you can just see what the colour range is like. Now, what it looks like on your screen is not going to be what it looks like in real life. Nail polish, good name. They're going to vary. It's the same as when I do a swatch chart and I swatch them and then you print it or you look at it on your screen. It's not going to be exactly the same, but what it does do is it gives you an idea of crimson stone, of whether there are lots of dark pinks, light pinks, purpley pinks, whether there are purples, blues, green, you know, that sort of thing. So you get to see the sort of range of colours rather than the exact colours. And when I do a comparison swatch chart, this is Ruby Rose, if I'm comparing it to a set you've got already, that can be more helpful, because you can think, when I've got polychromos, I'll have a look at her polychromo swatch chart, and then I can see that, look, this one is the closest match to, this is called Bruise, it's a great name. This might be, she says this closely matches the crimson, let's say, look at this, it looks quite crimsony. But I'm looking at the comparison and this is a bit lighter than the crimson, maybe, or darker or whatever, so I don't know if I'm going to like that colour or need that colour or whatever. Shiraz. So you can do that level of analysis on them if you want to. It sounds a bit contrived, a bit over the top, a bit too much maybe. I mean, of course, just go and treat yourself if you can afford to, but or have the space, Bloodshot, to store the pencils. But the last set, we didn't have any reds. Here we have some reds. But if you're looking for specific colours, or you've got a limited budget and you're picking between sets, you know, that's what you need to do. Evil red, love it. You know, be really fussy about it. Also remembering that because you can buy these open stock, you don't have to buy a tin at all. You can look through them all and think, right, I like that red, that blue, that green, and just get those rather than getting the whole lot. I don't know whether that works out very poor value for money, because I've never done it. But you can certainly, there's no harm in inquiring. We're moving on to greens. We've just jumped straight to green. Calm Lime. That's an interesting colour. I'm just going to put it right here next to this red. Oh, that's quite similar to that colour there. Do you remember that one? The one over there is slightly less green and more yellow. I can't remember what it was called. I'm sure it was a green. But I don't know. I don't remember now. Well, this one's got a good name. It's called Zombie. I love the memorable names. They're fantastic. Gosh, I've never coloured a mandala like this before. I guess I have used them for swatching. I like that colour. Sorry, my arm keeps coming to shot, it's lovely. Grass blade. There is a green grass, isn't there? Or a grass green. That's a bit lighter, I think. Now this one is a pine. This looks a bit pale. I was thinking about people who are colourblind, and I do know there's a colourist who is colourblind who I saw some comments from Green Glow on I think it was a forum or something, and I think sometimes with that the names need to be a bit more accurate for you to know what you're getting. This is Fizz, but sometimes does it matter? Just put colours together and see what happens. The fact that they don't necessarily normally get put next to each other, Sabre, might mean that you've discovered some amazing combination that no one else has thought of, and that when someone who isn't colourblind sees it, it might just wow them, you know. My husband is colourblind and he does art, and he doesn't ever have any strange wizard mismatches, in my opinion. He is funny though, he does argue with me sometimes, not argue, but you know, about certain colours. Oh, that isn't that colour, it's that colour. I'm like, excuse me, you're colourblind and I'm not. It's quite funny. He's like, adamant that it's a certain, I'm like, but you're not seeing it the same way as me. A pleasant blue. It is quite funny. But anyway, that's a nice colour, sort of grey blue, like a polychromos ultramarine, whereas the dipped end looks turquoise. Dark night. What colour's dark night, do you think? I think it looks grey. It is. Now, I like to put the pencils Picasso Sky in a certain order, as I was saying earlier, in my swatch charts. But what I always do when I give away my swatch charts now is give away an Excel file or a Word file, depending on what I've done it in. Usually use Excel. Blue tongue, even though Word prints out prettier. This is purple, this blue tongue. I would say that was lavender. Now here is one with a metallic base. Look at that. It is called Cobblestone, and it is a browny grey. There's no metallic in there. Yeah, it's pretty. Now we have Dragon Saddle. Like it. We'll just do this here. Yeah, I give you the Excel file, which means that you can move around. So if you move them around, so if you hate my order, you can change it to your order. You can put it back. You know, you can just do it however you wish. Brown brick. Because I feel like, although I like it a certain way, it doesn't mean you will. You know, I like to go sort of white, yellow, orange, red, pink, pink, purple, blue, green, or sort of turquoise green. Dragon Castle. Brown, grey, black, you know, but that's quite close to that, isn't it? But you may not like that order at all. So, and we have Dragon Dungeon, or it's just called Dungeon. I'm reading that that's not the name, it's just Dungeon. So the one I said was Dragon Castle is just Castle. Oh, that's a shame. Dungeon. Oh, it's dark. Look at that. This is nearly black. I'd say if you had that, it's like a Mars black. There's definitely some brown in there. I've got one left. Where am I going to put it? This is the one that's gold. On the end it's called Cardboard. My cardboard isn't that pretty. I'm just going to go here. Looks like a ochre, isn't it? There we go. So that is all of the pencils. Try out. It's a very pretty colour, isn't it? So yes, so I need to say a big thank you again to Dion for these. They are lovely. So colours are just beautiful. There's none there I dislike. I can see myself using all of these a lot. So that's really lovely. Thank you so much for those. Yeah, I will finish this mandala. What I'll do is I need to try out a few of my other ones to try and work out how to slot them into the to my list of swatch list, so I might use this to help me a little bit. But yes, thank you for watching. As I said, I have got reviews of the other Black Widow pencils available as well, so you can watch them all if you want to decide which ones to get, or if you want to get them all, or whatever. You know, you can do that, so that's available for you. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.